All right. So, let's see here. Okay. Let's get started. All right, so welcome to the Converting Clients in the DMs free masterclass. I think when it comes to converting clients, it can be really difficult and overwhelming and scary, especially if you are in this turmoil of like constantly not being able to convert clients. And it can kind of create the cycle of doubting yourself and the conversations that you're having with clients. And, a lot can come from it. Um, and that's definitely something that I've struggled with in the early stages of my business. Like converting clients was so scary to me that I would just try to like get out of the conversation as soon as possible or wait for the last minute to share my investment and things like that. But within the masterclass today, I'm so excited to dive into, different ways to convert clients in the DMs. And this same thing can be applied to discovery calls. We're definitely going to talk about, navigating that and such. But, when you're mastering this technique, this strategy, it can really go a long way. Feeling confident in the DMs, feeling confident navigating sales conversations are so important. So let's just get started. So yeah, I'm so excited that you're here. And this means that you're ready to step into your CEO role and start empowering and serving, your community by kicking ass through your groundbreaking offers. And just a reminder, this is your time to be selfish, your time for you, your time to really expand your knowledge and experience with things. So just so excited. All right, so a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you have your pen and notepad ready. We will be diving into gold nuggets that, of course, you don't want to miss. So definitely have that ready or type it up if you're a documents kind of person. But so excited for you to write everything down in all the notes because there's lots of amazing gold nuggets here. Also, please mute your mic if you haven't yet. At the end, I encourage you to, ask anything as I'll be hosting, an Instagram live to answer any questions that you might have about your content marketing and selling. Also, three, don't hesitate to record a boomerang or share this on your story. I always love the networking, and if you're sharing it, I love reposting it and raving about it. So of course that's optional, but don't hesitate to. And number four, I'm gonna also have a lot of curious pop in the chat things. I love a masterclass where it's so interactive and we get to connect together. A lot of times when I join master classes or when I host master classes, a lot of people connect afterwards. So that's always really exciting, and I love to see that. So don't hesitate to pop in the chat. So speaking of curious, pop in the chat. I'd love for you guys to introduce yourselves. So pop that in the chat. What's your name, your Instagram handle, the industry or niche that you're in, and what you're most excited to learn about. So curious. For those of you who don't know already, I'm sure you know me very well if you're on here today, but I'll introduce myself quickly as well. So if you don't know, my name is Vicky Fan. My Instagram handle is I am Vicky Fan, and I'm a business and marketing mentor. And I'm excited to teach about all things converting clients in the DMs. Not so much learning, but more so teaching and mentoring. So love that. Hello, Charles, business coach from Puerto Rico. Charles was one of my first ever clients back in 2020. So it's so amazing to see that you're here, still supporting, still connected. Um, Madison, web designer and social media manager. I love that. One of my examples today, the main example is about web design. So I'm really excited for you, Madison. Hi, Gabriella. Gabriella is a Pinterest manager. Yes, amazing. Melody, confidence coaching, based in Denmark. Ooh, international. Also, I'm based in Canada, for those of you who don't know, in Nova Scotia. I'm originally from Toronto. Um, Amazing. Lala, social media manager. Hello, Rose. Brand strategist. Yes. Okay. I love this. I love connecting and networking. So I'll be sure to connect with all of you guys post masterclass. But yeah, what we will be covering today. So this is my signature framework for the sustainable growth of a business, and it comes down to these 5 pillars. So, ideal client symmetry, offer creation, fine tune messaging, selling your offer, and dreamy transformation. Of course, there's a lot of energy and inner work as well, but I work closely with my clients in their individual states to support them in those areas. But today we are going to be doing a micro focus into selling your offer. Utilizing IG to sell your offer and convert clients. This is a lot more organic based versus actually, sales strategies in the structures for selling on your Instagram stories and such. More so hands-on in the DMs on discovery calls and such. So we are going to be diving into these 4 areas. When it comes to converting clients in the DMs, what's really important is to gather as much information as possible and to detach the offers and what the investment really is. So this kind of helps you steer away from potential clients who are like, what is the investment to working with you? And then ghosting you, which I'm sure is very, very common. We're gonna, avoid that. And what's important to avoid that and ensure that that doesn't happen continuously, recurringly, is to detach the offers and investment first, and then share what the support would look like, and then the offer details and converting them in the DMs. All right, so super curious. Raise of hand or pop in the chat who here fears that or resonates with the statement. I fear that when I share the investment, my ideal clients will ghost me. Who here feels this way? Sometimes yes, because it has happened to me. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of yeses here. And so, you fear that when you share the investment, they'll ghost. And this is so valid because this came from somewhere. How you feel towards converting clients in the DMs, how you feel towards, objections or the pain points that you internally feel going into the DMs and talking with clients on discovery calls, that fear comes from somewhere, whether that's reoccurring non-conversions, whether you've been ghosted before, or, unnecessary comments of ideal clients saying that your investment is too expensive. And, a lot of self-doubt comes from somewhere. So I want you to remind yourself that how you feel towards it is valid, but it doesn't need to be a reality. And you don't need to be putting yourself in this box, because, when you're putting yourself in this box, these self-doubts translates to how you approach things. It translates to your intentions going to a sales conversations, how you navigate conversations with your ideal clients or potential clients. And you're continuously bouncing around because that's how you're projecting yourself, right? So I want you to remember that your beliefs become the way you move. So for an example, your beliefs that your investment is too expensive, it's too high, or it's not gonna work out, your approach to your messages in response to inquiries is the investment is X, but I'm currently offering 15% off to new clients for our first month of working together. Or the investment is X, but don't worry, I have payment plans available, right? So as soon as you're approaching this conversation with your potential client, you're already not confident in the transformation and the commitment and the investment of your offer itself, because you're meeting with your clients in that middle of like, this is the investment, what you're looking for, what you're craving for, what you're wanting to learn from me, but right, and you're instantly objecting yourself and your potential client from working with you through these hesitations. Or you can believe in what your offer is. You believe that this investment is what it's worth, if not more, of course. The investment is X and our start date would be Y. Would you like me to share with you the next steps? Right? Of course, every conversation could look a little bit different, but there is no hesitation. There is no, but don't worry, I have payment plans available, because that's not their intentions right away, right? So we have to stop putting ourselves in this box that our ideal clients are not willing to make that investment with us, are not willing to, work with you at this capacity, because it's not true, right? So first of all, let's identify the gaps of where you're at right now. So a raise of hands, who here is struggling with at least one of these gaps, right? I'm going to dive deeper into what they look like and, share different scenarios, but in and out. So you are right now so nervous to mess up the conversation of your shop with this potential client. So you try and get in and out of the conversation as fast as possible, providing the details or even just your website link for them to check out. Who here feels like this aligns with them? Personally, this is something that I really struggled with, because I was like, I don't want a lot of room for error. I know like my ideal clients just want the details and the investment, because that's what truly matters. So let's just give them everything and hope for the best. Or, B, price bombing. So you feel as if your potential ideal clients are just, eager to know what the investment is to work with you. So you just cave in and share it with them as soon as they ask for it. So I see I used to do A so much, but I no longer resonate with that one. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, love this. So yeah, price bombing, it's more so like feeling really panicked when having to share the investment, whether it's like instantly sharing with them or like building up a lot of anticipation towards the end of your discovery call or at the end of your conversation together to share, what that investment would be. So there's a lot of anticipation and like almost holding your breath when having to share those things. Or C, offer overdrive. So you really want to accommodate as much as possible, and any way for your ideal client to work with you as an actual client is exciting enough. So you're sharing with them all the details of your offers, what's included, the duration and investment, and things like that. So whether that looks like you sending them over your sales page of all of your different offers, or sharing like, I have 3 offers available, here are all the details to each one, kind of like sharing a lot of information all at once, and it feels very overwhelming, not only to you but your client as well, your ideal client. So, who here feels this way, or how do you feel around converting clients in the DMs? Where do you feel like your gaps are? So I see because I'm okay. So I see Rose said I'm probably C, LOL, because I'm almost overly excited. I love that you shared that, because I'm gonna dive into that in a few minutes about what overly excited does. B, C. Okay. Love this. So A, in and out. So you are, so nervous to mess up the conversation. I don't see a lot of A's in here. I see like Charles used to be an A, but just like really nervous energy towards conversations. I want you to do this instead. I want you to gather as much information as possible from your conversation with this potential client, to the point where they're answering their own questions in a way, right? Or navigating a lot of clarity. And you can do this through questions and reiteration. And this is something that absolutely changed the game for me, for my clients, is through asking questions and reiteration with intentions, of course. Now, price bombing. So, you feel like you're holding your breath when you're sharing your investment. I want you to first detach from the offers and the investments, and selling the support and transformation first, and detaching how you would, support them through your methods and framework first, right? When you're detaching this, you are so behind what the transformation is. Whatever the investment is like almost a no-brainer, right? It's like, okay, this is my problem, this is the solution, and I get to see that within our time working together. No brainer. So that would be my focus for you if you're struggling with price bombing, or feeling very, it's like holding your breath when you're sharing your investment. Now, C, offer overdrive. So this is where you're wanting to accommodate as much as possible. So you're sharing a lot of these different offers. And as you can see, it's kind of like a domino effect. You kind of have to have all of this structured together in order for the next stage to even work. But if you feel like you are currently with offer overdrive, I want you to focus on sharing the best offer for the support. So it's almost like your due diligence to gather as much information as possible to provide and share with them what the best offer actually is, versus which one, like, as long as they get to work with you, it's a good time kind of thing. But more so like, okay, you're struggling with this is like the best support capacity for you to see a transformation, for you to see the best results, and the best way for me to even deliver these services for you. Because we really want to set a level of expectations for both teams, right? Like, you really want to be able to provide the transformation that they're craving for. So I would much rather share like the best offer for you, versus you opting for the lowest investment and not seeing that return of investment, or you're not seeing that transformation or support that you're actually craving for, right? So how do I apply this to my business? So I personally have 3 one-on-one coaching offers, and I market each of them very, very differently. So let's say you come to me struggling to create content that converts. So we'll first identify what that reality even looks like for you. Because for all I know, the depth of it could be very, very deep, or very, very surface level, right? So when it comes to creating content that converts, you could be struggling to consistently post and show up, or you could be struggling to articulate what you really want to say within your messaging. Or you might be struggling to understand your ideal clients on a deeper level to communicate that, or dive deeper on the value and the transformation within your offers, or all of the above, right? So as you can see, like as we kind of go down through this list, it gets deeper and deeper. And especially if it's all of the above, then that means that there's a lot more support that's needed, right? Versus, um, you know, a mindset shift um, or just having a plan of action or something like that. So, it's important for you to ask these important questions to even know all of this. Because if I were to stick to surface level in the conversations, oh, you're struggling to create content that converts. Okay, I think that our VIP day business intensive would be best for you. You know, you are probably struggling with X, Y, and Z, and you're diagnosing that when in reality, it goes so much deeper as we go down this list. Um, your potential client, or I guess in this scenario, my potential client or you would probably feel very unheard, or you might feel very like, misunderstood, or feeling like that capacity doesn't really serve you. So it's important to kind of be on the same wavelength and have that symmetry with your potential client before even going into what that offer would look like or what the investment would be. Okay. So this is a shift you could make if you're struggling to convert. So, what I would share is like, the best offer for foundational, we work together closely for the next 6 weeks within the aligned CEO to really break down the roots of your ideal client, your current reality and desires, while we deeply focus on the impact of your offers and create a sustainable plan of action for you to consistently create content that converts via bingeable content and strategic IG stories. My clients especially love document submissions because I can deeply support you in reviewing your progress in alignment with the processes. So, as you can see, I haven't referred to the deliverables at all yet. Just the support and the transformation of it. Okay. So, what your ideal client conversion or your client conversion looks like. So, I like to break it down into two phases. So, we have your phase one and phase two. Phase one is where you're gathering as much information as possible. So you're asking questions, you're listening to your ideal client deeply, you're reiterating how they're feeling, what they're seeing, and you're repeating that until you feel confident that you understand your potential client you feel like you know their business, like it's on the back of your hand already, kind of thing, versus kind of in the dark. Oh, I wonder if they're seeing this, or a lot of curiosity. Ditch the curiosity, just straight up ask your client, because in order to have like an amazing client delivery is clear communication, and that starts from day one. So that starts with you asking questions, listening deeply, making them feel supported, and reiterating how they're feeling. And then we're moving into phase two, finally reiterating their needs, wants, and desires, and then aligning that with your offer or offers. So I don't think it's the best thing to do to share like 5 of your offers all at the same time. But if you feel like there's 2 offers that they could really benefit from in different levels of capacity and support, then I say go for that. And I'll share with you shortly of, what that example would look like. But share the support capacity of it, and then share the deliverables and investment. Okay. Okay, so another curious pop in the chat. Have you ever felt unseen after making an inquiry to work with someone before? So have you ever like inquired with a coach, a mentor, anything, and you felt like, okay, they didn't really hear me, like they don't really understand what I said, or, you know, just felt unaligned after inquiring. Has anyone ever felt that? Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So valid. If you have invested in your business before, most likely you have felt this before. And so, for an example, you're pouring your heart out on your excitement to working with them for this response. Great, here's the link. Here are the details. Amazing, let me send you the invoice, like right away. And it's like, did you even hear me? Like, I'm so excited, but I kind of get red flags now, kind of thing, right? And this doesn't always come from a bad place. Like, it can, but it doesn't always. I see that Chal said, I'm an in between of liking that, but also wondering if they care. Yes. Yeah. So it doesn't always come from a bad place, but the eagerness can come off as a red flag. That rushing the conversation of like, do you really genuinely want to work with me and support me? Or am I another number to you? And these are very like subconscious thoughts that come up, but that eagerness or that excitement can come off as being rushed, and moving things too quickly without feeling heard first, right? So my conversion used to be terrible because of self-doubt, rushing the conversations, and not just being human first. And from day one, I've cared deeply of all the clients that I've worked with before. But I think like rushing the conversation of like, let me just get in and out of this conversation, or doubting, like just self-doubt in general about navigating conversations with my ideal clients, led me to that eagerness, led me to that excitement taking over, which felt rushed. And that resulted in a lot of ideal clients ghosting me, a lot of no's, doors closed. And, even though ghosting, I find, is not the best thing to do, obviously, but it comes from somewhere. There's a reason why, and it might not necessarily, like be all on you. It could just be them, but there could be a reason why they're ghosting or they're saying no, and it could be the way the conversation is led. And we're gonna totally transform that. We all been there. We all have felt that, and it's valid. It's common. So human first. I see. I don't actually perceive it as eagerness. I perceive it as nonchalantness, like you don't care for real. I'm a number to you, and if I don't buy, then you'll find another number. Yeah. So going back to here, it can feel like that, right? Whether it's rushed or, here's the link and things like that. And again, like I said, it doesn't always come from a bad place, but it can be. So I feel like in that scenario, it does come from a bad place, but human first. So I close every single new client in the DMs, whether sometimes it's referrals even from my clients, or inquiries and such. If your marketing is coming in, you're getting inquiries, then you can convert, and it's in you. You can definitely convert clients. So if you're having a difficult time getting inquiries, then it's more of a marketing problem. And I highly recommend you watch the replay of my Creating Content That Converts free masterclass replay. I will definitely tag that in my link in my bio. But if you're having a conversion problem, then this is obviously the best place for you right now here. So yeah, phase one, ask questions, listen deeply, reiterate, repeat. Human first, right? Have that conversation and be really vibey with it, whether it's sending voice messages, whether it's, texting it out, whether it's, pushing forward a discovery call. However you feel like you thrive and feel the most confident in, lean into that. You don't need to have it done in a certain way, but more so have it structured. But let your personality and energy shine through. Okay. So ask questions and reiterate. So you really want to gather as much information as possible, asking the right questions and gather valuable insights from your potential clients. This knowledge will help you tailor your approach and create customized, personalized connections. So here are some questions that you can ask. If you're feeling like you draw a blank in conversations with potential clients, then start here. So for an example, tell me more about what you're seeing in your business right now. So I see in your application form that you're struggling with X, Y, and Z. Is that right? How are you feeling in your business is so valid, and it's extremely common in this industry, but I'm celebrating you for taking that step to outsource, invest, and get support, right? Just curious, are you currently doing X, Y, and Z right now? And kind of aligning that to your methods, right? That last part of being curious about your pain point, then offering a solution and then tying back to your offer. Love that. Yes, we're gonna dive deeper into that and what that would look like in a different, example. But having this all tied together, and sometimes you're asking all of these questions, right? Sometimes there's more customized questions. At the end of the day, if you're curious about something, ask it. Just ask. There's no harm in clarity in the conversation. So this last one, just curious, are you currently doing X, Y, and Z right now? So for an example, let's say you are a social media manager and you're very analytical based, right? There's a lot of research, a lot of reflection and diving into the insights and analytics. So for an example, just curious, are you currently tracking your social media insights on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis? Just curious, are you currently tracking the insights through different TikToks that you're creating? And then aligning it to your methods. Of course, asking that in reference to you offering TikTok services or you offering analytical insights and research in that way. So always lean into your methods, framework, and approach. So detaching the offers and investment and navigating the conversation around offers and investments without feeling salesy. It's all about creating genuine connections and showing the value that you bring, right? So, tell me more about what you're seeing. Yeah, so same kind of reference to the questions before, but really leaning into your methods. So I kind of shared that before. Now, share what the support would look like. So just curious, do you know what your methods are? And more importantly, can you articulate it? So do you know what your methods are? Do you have a certain framework that you refer to or a style? And this doesn't have to be super, super advanced, but even if you're let's say you're a social media manager and you're pro video marketing, right? Some social media managers are like, you don't need to always video market. You can do carousels. So, either or is great. It's just, what do you lean into and what are your methods like, right? So I want you to be able to paint a vivid picture of the transformation and support your clients can expect when working with you. Showcasing your unique methods and how they'll benefit your client's journey. Okay, so I see yes. Amazing. Okay, so your offer, when it comes down to your offer, and I want you guys to reflect, this is your offer. what are the deliverables in it, right? Oh, I offer X amount of calls in there. I offer, X amount of posts per week. What are your deliverables within your offer? Okay. Now, this is kind of reference to selling the transformation versus selling the deliverables. So we're going to kind of break that down here, because sometimes we can kind of get caught up into, yeah, this is the offer, these are all the things that are included, and you're really diving into the specifics of how you actually do those things. So for an example, like, this is social media management, and I do hashtag research, and how I do that is by looking at your competitors' hashtags, and then I also go into this website. Your 9 times out of 10, your ideal client, your potential client, does not care about that. They want to know how your hashtags that you research for them can make a difference for their business, right? So what I want you to do is take your offer and break down the different deliverables within that offer. And I want you to dive into the problem solved. You're selling the solution to the problem. The offer is just the vehicle, the gateway to get you there. Okay, so as an example, I saw that, I wonder, yeah, Madison's still here. She is a web designer, so this is a perfect example for you. So, ideal client pain point. So let's say they have had a website done before and they felt like they had no part of it. And the final finished project was just not them, and it was really unaligned, right? So your ideal client came to you sharing, I've got this done. I really don't feel aligned with it. I'm looking for someone who can help support me in this area. So your offer, you're a web designer, and the deliverables within your offer, let's say you offer, branding, a website copy, multiple pages, and then like blog setup or something like that in your biggest package together. These are very broad and just examples, so I don't know if this all really goes well together, but let's just refer to that. And then taking one of those deliverables, branding. What are the problems solved within the branding, right? So let's say there are 2 intensive calls, and this is still the deliverables, but we're going to dive into the problem solved. So 2 intensive calls, a Pinterest board, 2 mock-up revisions. Okay. So your ideal client is struggling with having a website that feels unaligned and feeling like they weren't very hands-on with it. Why are these 3 problem solved deliverables within the branding branch of your actual deliverables of your package? How will that support and serve them? Okay. So your response, so this is an example. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with me. How you feel is so valid. Again, always validate how your ideal clients are feeling, because again, it all comes from somewhere. In the early stages of our masterclass today, I asked you, who here feels, like when they pitch their investment that they're gonna get ghosted. Validating how they feel, but also recognizing that that is common and it happens, but doesn't mean it needs to be the reality, right? So how you feel is so valid, and so many of my clients have, come to me feeling that exact same way before working together, and I always make sure to go out of my way to support them through this collaboration, to make you feel most involved, in tune with the process, and aligned as much as possible. See how we've kind of resurfaced what the pain points were, but also the nurture point of how you support them in that, right? Which is why I've structured my offer the way that I have. If I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I have 2 offers that I think would be the best fit for you based on our conversation so far. Of course, they both offer different level of support. And then, this helps you sell two different solutions instead of opting for the lowest investment, but also optional. So you can sell multiple offers or one, but whether it is start with one and then move on to the next one versus hear all of them at the same time, and also sell the two different solutions. So for an example, you creating this website leaning into branding for this client is very different from gaining clarity in what their branding wants to look like, what they want their branding to look like in an intensive, right? Two very different offers, two very different solutions, but you really want to sell one and then the other. So let me dive into X offer first. Now, sharing what that support would look like, your offer name, this gives your ideal client something tangible to refer to. Okay, so they can reference like, okay, built out website is this offer. Okay, if I want clarity in how to approach my branding and my aesthetic and copy lingo, okay, maybe an intensive would be better. So they have something tangible to think about, versus it's just floating. I could work with a website designer, work with you. Okay, so because I want to make you feel most involved, in tune with the process, and aligned as much as possible. Again, you're resurfacing that nurture point. I like to create a Pinterest board with all of my clients to really get a better idea on your mood, branding, and intentions visually. Following along with an intake form to dive deeper within your messaging and emulating that through your website. So now that is the solution to one of the pain points or one of the things that your ideal clients are struggling with, right? I also like to be really hands-on with my clients and have you a part of the process, but also knowing that everything is handled behind the scenes, right? So in a way, you are sharing another level of support and transformation you create for your clients, but not necessarily, you're also setting a boundary as well. Like, yes, like I'm here to have you part of the process, but also know that everything is handled behind the scenes and there is separation in some areas and not a lot of hand-holding. But we do 2 intensive calls, which are pre and post mock-up revisions. Second solution. They felt like they were just lost in the sauce before, and just like boom, they got a website and they felt really unaligned with the branding. Now sharing, I have 2 intensive calls, which are really important, and I work with you pre the mock-up and post mock-up revisions, so you feel really in tune and know, what is going on within the offers. Okay, let's see here. I lost the gallery earlier. I want to see if I can get that back quickly. I don't know if I will. Okay. Now the next steps. So now this is where you're met with the objections, the hesitations, okay, this is the final moments kind of thing, right? Oh, let's kind of go back here. Okay, so share the offers and details to convert. So, I know this is a lot, so I'm going to share with you below what's included in this offer and the investment for it. The details, the investment, right? And now you're going to get a lot of hesitations, not a lot of hesitations, but you're going to get the next steps, really. And that comes up with the hesitations, the objections, the next steps, the excitements. You might not know, and everyone is very different, right? So let's say you are met with, let me think about it. answering the question in the chat. I will be emailing the replay after we're done here, and you will have access to that in my course setup. So next steps, let me think about it. Okay, of course, I totally understand. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll check in with you Friday morning to see how you're feeling. How does that sound? Right? How can we move forward? Of course. So first of all, let's get you onboarded. I'd love for you to send over your full name and email so I can go ahead and draft up our agreement. Then you can expect an invoice and welcome package coming your way by the end of the day. Okay. What are the next steps? So essentially, we would sign our agreement together, send over the invoice and welcome package. Then we can go ahead and schedule our first call to get a move on things. Let me ask my partner. Okay, I totally understand. I'll check in with you Friday morning to see how you're feeling, and also, I'd also be more than happy to hop on a call with you and your partner to answer any questions or concerns that you may have too, or that they may have too. So, see how we're kind of navigating this, there is timeline to it. So it's not like everything is up in the air in the sense of like, okay, throwing a bottle in the ocean and then like hoping something comes from it. But more so, setting deadlines of like, you know what, I'll check in with you Friday morning to see how you're feeling. How does that sound, right? I'll check in with you after the weekend and we can kind of, I can answer any questions that you might have that arises, right? Or maybe they're like, I'm down, let's do this, excited. And, you have set kind of an expectation of like everything's going to come your way by the end of the day or within the next hour or, whatever that looks like for them. Right? All right. And then, so at the end of the day, you can do things 110% your way. These are just like a few snippets of my clients who've said yes, and who decided to work with me. But the thing is, like, you can do things your way, and every scenario can look very different with every ideal client, right? I had a client who came to me, which offer do you think, or do you have that's a good fit for me? And then kind of going out of her way to already just like dive straight into business. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I think this offer is. And there was like very little time for, the questions and reiteration because she's given me all the information like right off the bat. And she felt really aligned with my content and my energy and really understood how I articulated things already, where she's just like, I'm already down. Which capacity can I work with you at? Right? And again, like, okay, if you still have any questions, please ask. But yes, I'm ready to kick off the program with you. They're just like eager to because they're already sold and they're like, yes, let's do this. Thanks, Vicky. Seriously consider signing up. Seeing how your free masterclass and content have been so helpful. I'm one of your lurkers, LOL. Again, there are so many lurkers, so don't sleep on marketing your business because you never know. But this client came to me from a free masterclass where my last free masterclass where I had no idea that they were even interested in working with me before. And they were sold, based off of, the masterclass and seeing how I articulated things, seeing my methods, my, framework and so on, right? And then, hi, Vicky, I've been thinking about you all weekend. I think I'm going to go with the Clarity Coaching Program. So this is now my signature coaching program. But essentially this client that I had, she messaged me inquiring. I sent her the details. We went through all of that. And then I was kind of like, okay, nervous because they weren't like, yes, right on the spot. And again, that's fine. If they don't say yes right on the spot, they can come back, right? And over the weekend, they thought about it and they're like, yes, I'm down. And even myself, like when working with my mentor, I literally was like, let me get back to you. It took me a week to think about it. And again, everyone's like, Sales psychology is very, very different, but I had to really think about it. And I'm just the type of person who overthinks everything. And same goes with like trying out a new mascara, kind of going things in a different route. I'm always thinking about it. But the thing is, like, when you're committing, you're taking action, you're going for it, doesn't matter. You're still taking action. Um, hey, just wanted to pop in, let you know that I finally booked our spot for a VIP day and I'm stoked. Some will just book it and don't need details, nothing, like I'm down kind of thing, right? Or we're not wasting any more time. Let's do this. What is the payment plan? So when you're setting these boundaries, when you're having these conversations, there's something so tangible for your ideal clients to take away. And it's more so of like, oh, I can hire you as a mentor. I can outsource and work with you. And I get X, Y, and Z, or I would rather see the transformation, the value. Okay, I get to feel this. I get to see this. I get to be supported by through these techniques and strategies. Yeah, I'm down. Versus, I can sell. I have 6 one-on-one coaching calls in my signature coaching program. Does that mean anything? No. What are we talking about? What is the transformation? What are we going to be talking about on the calls? What happens in between the calls? How can we have this structured? How can we, all of those answers are answered, all those curiosities are answered through asking you questions and reiterating how you're feeling towards that. So it's really important to just be human first and let the conversations go smoothly and intuitively as well. I think like the number one contributing factor is, overthinking going into the conversations, where you're already overthinking going to the conversation that you're not going to land this client, or you're like, oh, I hope they don't ghost, things like that. Again, you're putting yourself in this box, and that's just going to bounce in between the box, and you're going to be staying in this box unless you finally take the step out of it and just like, I'm going to go with the flow. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we're just unaligned. That's fine. At the end of the day, you can do things your way. So thank you for attending, my lovelies. Before you go, don't forget to check your email for the replay. And remember to share your thoughts about this masterclass on your stories, and I'll make sure to repost. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at virtualgraceland@gmail.com, or even DM me on Instagram at IamVickyFan. And I will for sure give you any support that you're needing, as well as the details for that entrepreneur club. If you're interested, it's my monthly membership for $49 USD per month. You can cancel anytime, but I think it's so valuable that I don't think that will be the case. But DM me and I'll make sure to add you on the wait list for the restructure of this offer. We're gonna really dive into all these different frameworks. For an example, like the one that we've dived into today, and also my other methods for converting, through your content on your Instagram stories, discovery calls, so on, so on. But yeah, all of these things that we talked about today, it goes so far. That same thing can be applied through your discovery call. It's just conversation vocalizing versus, text. So definitely lean into this and experiment. Try something new. Shift things if they're not serving you, and don't be afraid to do things a little bit differently and shift the things that aren't working right now. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but thank you everyone for being here. If you're watching the replay, let me know how you love this, but thank you so much for every single one of you for being here. I hope you really enjoyed the masterclass today. Okay, I'm gonna log off. Yay, amazing. Love that you guys love this. Okay, see ya.